My golden retriever, Winston, is gentle, smart, and more well-mannered than most people I know. But when a power-drunk HOA board member named Deborah decided he was a danger to community safety, she issued a ban notice, claiming Winston violated some made-up breed intimidation rule. I tried being civil. I really did. But when she pushed too far, I ran for the HOA board, got elected, changed the bylaws, and in front of the entire neighborhood, declared Winston the honorary HOA president. Winston was a neighborhood favorite until Deborah moved in. Ivy lived in Willow Bend Hills for 8 years now. My dog Winston has been by my side through all of it. A goofy, loyal golden retriever with a thing for tennis balls and belly rubs from the mailman. Everyone loved him. Kids would wave when we passed. Neighbors would toss him treats. He even helped comfort Mr. Glenn down the street when he lost his wife. But then Deborah Sievers moved in, new HOA board member with an agenda and a clipboard surgically attached to her hand. The breed concern that didn't exist. It started with a note on my door. Your dog has been observed walking off-leash. Please restrain him or face fines. Funny thing, Winston was always leashed. Always. Then came another. Residents have expressed discomfort due to your animal's size and energy. Then she dropped the bomb. Per HOA Safety Regulation 4B, large dogs may be deemed inappropriate for close residential proximity. You are advised to remove your pet from Willow Bend Hills within 14 days. Excuse me, there was no Regulation 4B. I double-checked the bylaws. She made it up. I tried to reason with her. I caught her one morning as she was making her rounds, clipboard and all. Hey, Deborah, Winston's a licensed, trained, and leashed pet. Why are you targeting him? She didn't even flinch. I've had complaints. Bigger dogs cause anxiety. You'll need to comply or face escalated fines. Who complained? That's confidential. Spoiler, no one did that. I asked around. The closest thing to a complaint anyone had was he once stole a meatball from a kid's plate at the picnic. Guilty, but adorable. I filed a dispute with the HOA board. They sided with her 0.3 votes to 2. Winston got an official warning citation. I found the loophole. And the opportunity. Here's the thing about Willow Bend Hills. The HOA board changes every 2 years, and elections are coming up in less than 3 weeks. Only 4 people had filed to run for the 5 open seats that I threw my hat in. Then I did something better. I printed a flyer with a picture of Winston in sunglasses and the headline, "Let's put the good boy back in board meetings." I canvassed the neighborhood, knocked on doors, explained the situation. People were stunned. Turns out Deborah had tried similar stunts with people's Halloween decorations, porch chairs, and even a Girl Scout cookie stand. Winston wasn't the first target, but he'd be the last. The election and a landslide voting day came. There was a folding table, a ballot box, and Deborah seated nearby. Arms crossed, fake smile plastered on her face. Why noon? People were lining up. One neighbor came in wearing a shirt that said, "I bark for Winston." By 6 p.m., voting closed. Results: Deborah, 37 votes, me, 91 votes, and the other 3 candidates I campaigned with, all won. Just like that, Deborah was out. I was vice president. And Winston, well, that's where things got fun. The first board meeting with Winston, our first meeting with a new board, took place in the HOA clubhouse. Full attendance. People brought cookies. One family even brought a bone-shaped cake with President Winston written in red icing. And yes, Winston sat in the front row, wearing a bow tie and a little vice president's assistant tag on his collar. I stood and spoke. Let's start with a motion to repeal the false regulation 4B created by the previous board. Unanimous vote. Repealed. Then we added something better. A real regulation protecting responsible pet ownership and banning targeted complaints without evidence. Guess who voted yes first? The elderly woman whose cat Deborah once tried to fine for lurking. We made it official. Winston's nameplate and Al as a community gesture. We passed a symbolic title. Winston, honorary HOA president and community companion. We had a nameplate made out of seat reserved at every board meeting, and a monthly newsletter featuring Winston's Bark of the Month, where we highlight a neighbor doing something kind. Winston even got his own mailbox at the clubhouse. Kids wrote him letters. Someone once sent him a Valentine's card signed, "From your biggest fan, Toby, age 5. Deborah tried to come back swinging. Deborah, of course, didn't go quietly. She filed a formal complaint to the regional HOA council, claiming defamation by canines, psychological harassment, improper use of election campaign tactics. When a regional rep showed up for a site review, Winston ran over and dropped a tennis ball at his feet. The guy bent down, patted his head, and said, "So, this is the terrorist?" Needless to say, the complaint was dismissed on the spot. We made Winston's impact permanent by spring. The HOA had changed. Instead of monthly emails filled with threats and fines, we started publishing community highlights. New baby announcements lost and found, notices, pet photos, and fun polls. We even held the first annual leash-free holiday parade, where residents could dress up with their dogs and walk through the neighborhood. Ending in hot cocoa and Winston Street stand. Yes, we had one. And remember that old weedy lot near the West Gate? We turned it into Winston's Park, a fenced-in, HOA-maintained space for neighbors to meet, dogs to play, and joy to actually exist. Epilogue. The bark heard around the block. Deborah ended up moving 6 months later. She sold her house quietly, left no forwarding address, and left behind nothing but a rusty lawn flamingo and an unpaid fine for unauthorized shrubbery extension. Winston, he's still here. Every morning I sip coffee while he trots down the sidewalk with his honorary name tag, neighbors smiling and kids giggling. Some people fight fire with fire. I fought pettiness with paws, and we didn't just win, we made history. Final words, they tried to leash my dog's joy. So I unleashed his legacy, and now every HOA meeting begins with one rule: let Winston decide. He usually votes yes, as long as treats are involved. Like watching HOA bullies get pawed off the board? Subscribe for more feel-good revenge stories, where kindness always wins and sometimes the best leader on the block wags his tail.